about the girl? Still alive. Bring her to me.
Majesty's life is going to change if she wants it to.
I'm still the same me.
In Jupiter Ascending, Mila Kunis plays an ordinary woman who finds out she's intergalactic royalty. She's hunted by a tyrant who wants to harvest all the humans on Earth. That sounds awful.
In today's edition of movies that Sarah will hate. That's kind of what we're going after today. Yeah, Jupiter Ascending.
I just like real life.
I know. This is sci-fi, and it is sci-fi to the extreme. Do you know who the Wachowskis are? They did The Matrix, okay?
Oh, I did like that movie.
Yes, okay. So since then, they've had a hard time kind of recapturing that energy. This is their movie, and it is kind of that same...
This is their attempt?
Yeah, they wrote and directed it, and they really have a sense for the visual flair, but, you know, man, they have a huge imagination, and sometimes I wonder if it's too broad and too weird to really make sense on the big screen. Yeah, and you look at this one, and you look at the actors, you know, you've got like Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis, and they're good actors, but you get them in this world, and I don't know if it's the direction or what they're being told to do, but their personality kind of drains, and you just don't kind of believe what they're going through. And when you
So you really loved this one, I can tell.
Sarah, your sarcasm is on point. No, I did not. And the thing about it is when you can't buy into the characters, you can't buy into the love story.
Right.
You don't buy into the humor, and that's the other thing about this. It has this
and you don't
weird,
have any kind of emotional connection.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this weird sense of humor in this that just kind of, it's like the movie can't decide if it wants to be kind of a funny, quirky science fiction movie or if it wants to be a serious science fiction movie. And so you don't know which world to buy into at the end of the day.
So instead of wasting their time, best, worst, and final grade.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. Best thing I said action ballet, and what I mean by that is the Wachowskis are good at that, kind of that action, beautiful, you know, it's a really beautiful world. As far as worst thing, I said Unsteady Eddie. That refers to Eddie Redmayne, who's the bad guy in this. His performance is so over the top. I think he's trying to be creepy, but it's just a little bit weird. Overall, really didn't like this. I said a D+.
All right, well, number 2, Spongebob SquarePants hits the big screen in Sponge Out of Water. He and his pals are on a quest to find a stolen Krabby Patty recipe that leads them to the surface and to Burger Beard, the pirate who stole the recipe.
Yeah, played by Antonio Banderas, by the way.
Yeah, again, not a fan of SpongeBob.
No, that's what I'm saying. And that is what this comes down to. I really believe with this movie, if you're a fan of the TV show, you are going to love this movie because it is the TV show.
Right.
If you don't like the TV show, you're not going to like this movie.
Right.
They took, you know, an immature, shallow TV show and turned it into an immature, shallow movie. But sometimes people want to go see that kind of thing.
Right.
And I will give it this. It's funny. I mean, the puns are funny. If you like that kind of absurdist, kind of weird humor, then you'll probably enjoy it. But it is SpongeBob on the big screen, and I think a lot of it depends on whether or not you actually enjoy the TV show.
Our camera operator back there, Michael, said, I feel like this is like late. Isn't it? Aren't they kind of late to the party?
Yeah, it does feel that way, right? It feels like this is something that might have been better off 5 years ago or something like that. But at the end of the day, you put it out. If the fans love it, it's kind of, you see that happen though. You know, once a TV show is kind of on the downswing, they'll put it on the big screen to try to pump that back up a little bit.
Right.
So it does happen that way. But we'll see how the returns are and how well it does. But I think the fans are really going to like it. I will say one thing about this. The humor is very infantile. You know, it's just, that's the kind of humor SpongeBob goes for. So if that annoys you, if that bothers you, then you're probably rolling your eyes quite a bit during this one.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
All right, so best, worst, and final grade on this one?
As far as the best thing on this one, I said Antonio show. Antonio Banderas is perfect for this part. He already has that over-the-top personality, and I just think he falls right into that pirate part really well. Worst part, I put substance issue. And what I mean by that is there's nothing really to this. The story is very, you know, basic, and the heart, there's some sort of message about teamwork, but it's really not a big deal. So overall, I said a B-.
All right, so is there anything out there that is a must-see still going on?
Yeah, I like that when you get to Oscar season, stuff continues to release. You'll see like American Sniper's still out there if you want to still check that out.
I do want to check that out.
I have heard word that people are seeing it as more of kind of a, not looking at the rating and thinking it's like a PG-13 thing. No, this is not a movie. American Sniper is not a movie necessarily to take your kids to.
Right.
But
it's real life.
But it is real life, and it really happened. Another movie still Little Alice is coming out. That's another one you'll hear a lot about. Julianne Moore's performance in that. So lots of good stuff that's still kind of sneaking into theaters amongst kind of these other releases that are mediocre to less than mediocre.
All right, thanks. Your movie friend Aaron Dicer always reviews movies for us every Saturday, and you can find him online at ky3.com. When we come back, Jeremy Rabe in the house to finish up our Key to Your Heart art. See his finishing touches next.